In the early hours of February 25th, 1942, the city of Los Angeles found itself under a mysterious siege.
Anti-aircraft guns went into action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific wartime this morning. The anti-aircraft guns began barking during a blackout ordered by the 4th Interceptor Command at 2:25 a.m.
What started as a typical quiet night quickly spiraled into an unexpected event that saw the U.S. military firing rounds of munition at a target in the night sky. In the middle of Los Angeles,
watchers on the rooftop of the Columbia Broadcasting Building in the heart of Hollywood could plainly see the flashes of guns and searchlights sweeping the skies in a wide arc along the coastal area. Concussion of the shells could be felt in downtown Los Angeles, 15 miles away.
there's documentation of what these mysterious objects were. There's people all throughout the city of Los Angeles that claim they saw bright lights, round objects flying through the sky that night, as clear as day. This is the story of the Battle of Los Angeles, when the citizens of the United States saw a battle between the United States military and UFOs. It's Michael here. Thanks for joining me, and let's get started.
Watchers on the rooftop of the Columbia Broadcasting Building in the heart of Hollywood could plainly see the flashes of guns and searchlights sweeping the skies in a wide arc along the coastal area. Searchlights closely followed the object down the coast and kept it centered in their glare. Shells frequently could be seen bursting near the object, but none appeared to hit it. The shooting stopped about 3:30 a.m. The shooting brought warfare to the front door of this city of 1.25 million population for the first time since December 7th.
Around this time, the world was at war, just months after the devastating attack on Pearl Harbor by the Japanese. The United States and its military was on high alert. The whole West Coast was prepared and bracing for a possible Japanese invasion. Everything was on lock, especially for a location like Los Angeles. It's on the West Coast, a giant hub of military activity, tourism, and industrial production. So it was always seen as the most likely target for a strike. And so it was no surprise when the citizens of California were seeing military trucks and bases being stocked in their city. The people knew and were waiting for a possible attack. It began with a warning. Radar detected an unidentified object approaching the city. And then more of them started to appear on the radar. And some even saw them with their own eyes in the sky. The city's military defenses shot straight into action, and a blackout was ordered throughout the city of Los Angeles, with air raid sirens in action throughout the night. Anti-aircraft guns rattled the silence, firing into the dark sky at what was believed to be an enemy aircraft. While never even hitting the target, over 1,400 shells were launched, lighting up the night sky. But when dawn broke, there was no evidence of a downed plane, and the only casualties that were reported were buildings, leftover shrapnel and debris in people's backyards. And of course, some reported their nerves being casualties from the shock of this event as well. Everyone in LA, for this 1 hour in the night, had to have been the most confused people on the planet right now. Were we under attack? Is it the Germans? The Japanese? They just attacked Pearl Harbor, so it's possible. See, this was before the original sightings of UFOs that started to take place in America around 1944, when the initial incident of the Foo Fighters took place.
Professional pilots, both commercial and military, do see UFOs, but the culture of silence within their ranks means the public almost never hears about it. There was a time, though, not long ago, when pilots who saw UFOs did talk to anyone who would listen. They were the fighter pilots and gunners of World War II, and they saw a lot of very strange things up there.
See, the Foo Fighters were mysterious, glowing objects seen by Allied pilots during World War II, starting around 1944. They appeared as fast-moving lights or shapes that seemed to defy the physics of flight, puzzling those who saw them. And the name Foo Fighters comes from a comic strip and was used by pilots to describe these unexplained sightings. Theories about what they were include secret enemy weapons, natural phenomena like St. Elmo's fire, a weather phenomenon involving glowing plasma created by corona discharge from sharp or pointed objects in a strong electrical field, such as those found on aircraft wings or cockpit canopies. Or it could have been stress-induced visions, but no definitive explanation was ever found. Whatever the cause for the initial popular sightings of UFOs taking place in 1944 with the Foo Fighters, this is still 2 whole years before that incident. The Battle of LA took place in 1942. Eyewitnesses in Los Angeles described seeing the same shaped objects and movements in the sky that these military pilots 2 years later reported seeing the same thing. This makes these eyewitnesses' claims a bit more credible in my opinion. But when the dust settled, there was no evidence of any downed enemy plane. And in the absence of a concrete enemy, man, the people's speculation began to grow wild. The LA Times published a photo that would later become truly iconic, showing searchlights converging on an unidentified object, further fueling theories of a UFO. Eyewitness accounts varied, some insisting they saw a large, round object gliding through the night sky, impervious to the artillery barrage, while others said they only saw a light in the sky, or nothing at all, aside from the firing in the sky by our armed forces. Now, the military's official explanation had went from claims of unidentified planes being the cause for the alert, all the way to their dismissive theory of them having war nerves. A mass hallucination must have taken place, driven by the stress of wartime. You're right, man. There's no way your whole armed forces in Los Angeles at the time started hallucinating and saw the same damn thing. And what about your military equipment? The radars? They were hallucinating too? 3 separate radar stations? Yeah, I don't think so. And later on, the official stance on the event was settled. And guess what they stated it was? They said it was weather balloons. A damned weather balloon, for over an hour, managed to evade leagues of artillery rounds from military personnel? There's no way they really expected people to believe this. And for what? This was an explanation that did little to nothing to help quell the public's fascination with this incident. The people did not just turn away, and the problem did not just go away. And like I said before, this was before the start of the popular UFO trend. This was not common knowledge, alien aircraft, and the descriptions of these objects match these eyewitnesses' accounts as well. So the lack of physical evidence of these supposed weather balloons as debris was not surprising. Or evidence that the Japanese had invaded, there was none. And I swear, this only deepened the mystery regarding the Battle of Los Angeles and what was actually in the night sky. Because let's be honest, the eyewitness testimonies from the citizens of Los Angeles said it all. They said they saw large round objects gliding through the night sky, impervious to the artillery barrage, 2 years before the famous Foo Fighter incident that coined the term UFO, and 5 years before the famous Roswell incident that occurred in July 1947. When this story hit the headlines on July 8th, 1947, when the Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release stating they had recovered a flying disc from a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved.
And guess what they said that was back then too? They said it was a weather balloon again, and not an alien aircraft. What's up with that? Weather balloons, is it that common that we can mistake it for UFOs? And why does the government always go back to this weather balloon excuse? It's like their go-to. You guys remember back in February 2023 when the military shot down an unidentified flying object over Alaska.
Today, under President Biden's order, a U.S. fighter pilot shot down an unidentified unmanned object the size of a small car.
We're calling this an object because that's the best description we have right now.
This time above the Arctic waters off Alaska, near the Canadian border. At this point, U.S. officials are not saying this is another Chinese spy balloon. In fact, they say they don't know what it was or what it could do.
We do not know who owns it, whether it's state-owned or corporate-owned or privately owned. We just don't know.
And they shot a few of these things down as well, and later reported that they were Chinese weather balloons. I'm not sure how entirely true that whole situation was. All I'm saying is I'm just noticing how similar the excuses are from our government when it comes to UFOs. Like, what really happened in the skies over Los Angeles in 1942? Was it a case of war-induced hysteria? A misidentified aircraft like a damn weather balloon? Or perhaps it was really a case of the United States military in battle with UFOs? Especially looking back now and at how the government have pretty much admitted to UFOs being legit.
There was a time when anyone who said they had seen a UFO was accused of making it up, being confused, or even being drunk. Not anymore. Scientists, military leaders, even some politicians are joining the crowd of true believers, with the US Navy task force called in to find the truth.
And something that they've kept in the hush for close to 80 damn years? Man, if people still don't believe the government be lying about UFOs and knowledge of anything extraterrestrial or alien, even after they admitted it, man, if y'all still don't think it's true, then you're clearly just delusional. Let me know what you guys think. Was this a weather balloon like they said? An enemy attack from a foreign nation? Or was it something alien? Leave your comments down below, guys. Like and subscribe. And be safe, everyone.
There was a time when anyone who said they had seen a UFO was accused of making it up, being confused, or even being drunk. Not anymore. Scientists, military leaders, even some politicians are joining the crowd of true believers, with the US Navy task force called in to find the truth.